All right, welcome back to the Astro Report with Inese. We have taken a break and we are back. We are excited to kick off this new year with you and talk about all the big things that are coming, these big transits, these big transitions. There's a lot of themes that we want to cover with you today. And Inese, I have missed you so much. I'm just so glad to have you back on the show.
Yes, thank you for having me. It was a really great time to come back because we took a break because it's winter time and it felt like a really the right time to kind of look at the next year, look at also where we are because reality is changing really quickly and a lot of people are going through we are like it's a little bit disorienting, challenging, but there's also a lot of light coming in. That is clarity, a lot of changes. So we will kind of try to, not kind of, we will talk about all of it, whatever needs to come through.
Sounds perfect. Oh, where do we start? Where do you feel like you want to start?
Let's start with the time, the time, like the time, how time feels because of the Saturn and Neptune. Like Saturn, like I mentioned, is so this is a lot of people might have be feeling this time has shifted from, and it will keep shifting from more. That's why 2025 have felt for some people like so quick, and the 2026. So it will become more non-linear and we will settle into it. Sometimes it feels like, oh, like and people who are tuning in, you might not remember things so linear as you did before because our brain is becoming more maybe multidimensional. There's more information the way we perceive. So there's big shifts happening. So Neptune is in a final degree. So and also the snake, we are in the end of snake year, and next lunar year is fire horse. I'm so really excited about that. I think that starts on February 17th. And we have the Neptune Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, which is the biggest kind of reset point for humanity, for Mother Earth, for like our reality. We've never experienced this. Like our Earth has never experienced this type of reset or for a really long time. So let's try to put it in words.
No, you're doing a beautiful job of it.
As
And
good as we
so many
can.
people are feeling, I just wrote a post about this today because the influx
Yeah.
of women that I've talked to this year already are coming to me needing like a business consultation or just like a talk with me or using their sessions with me. And a lot of
Yeah.
people are at this like 0 point. And they're either they've got like a clean slate or a fresh start, but they can't see. It's not like they're like, oh, cool, I know the next vision. The next vision has dropped in, or like, oh, I know my goals. And they're like, no, nothing. Like I can't see anything. I really don't know where I'm going. They're laying down big parts of their business or their business altogether, and they're like,
Yes.
they're kind of standing at this precipice. And when I have such an influx of people come in like that, I'm like, oh yeah, this is like a vibe right now on the planet.
This affects the all of us. Our realities are a lot of big, big soul contracts since lifetimes and lifetimes are ending. And that can feel like you're no longer connected to parts of your pain, your story. You've done your healing work and a lot, will continue to be, especially this year and next going forward, waves of mass awakening. So people
Yeah.
are waking up. So there's a disconnect from the old constructs. So we have from the November 2024 and then April this year, 2026, all outer planets will change sign. This is a huge deal. Like our reality is shifting from water and earth into fire and air. And that is a very different modality. And if you have degrees, any sign from 0 to 4, everyone will be activated in some shape or form, all of us, because we live on the planet Earth. She's ascending herself. She's letting go of her million years of trauma. So she's like no longer wants to accept any kind of abuse. And we can feel the fire, especially in the feminine. Like we all have feminine, men and women. The feminine is rising, the masculine is healing.
Mm,
There's a lot of disruption, but it's disrupting the old systems and forms, and that's why a lot we are setting down the version of ourselves that are no longer aligned with the new reality, because we are ascending together, all of us, and it can feel unsettling. I feel from my experience, there's like exactly as you said, there's a lot of unknown.
mm,
And that can feel scary because of we can see a lot of disruption and fear used as a tool to manipulate people. And that it's just how it is. Like you will see a lot of stories. Most of them are maybe 5% true, some of it. So there's a lot of discernment that is coming in and available for us if we don't kind of where we put our focus, we will feed that timeline. So there's a very strong accent of us realizing we hold the responsibility, but also choice, but also power to choose. We are not like victims of what's happening. Yes, it can feel like that sometimes, and we don't have to bypass our human self. In no way, like that won't work. But there's a strong, there's this reality, the new reality is asking us to choose better, to choose wiser, to choose stronger sovereignty. So that is a lot of like all
ooh,
of it, like at the
that was like
same
an
time.
anthem. That was like an anthem.
Yeah, oh, yes, it's like this felt like a very condensed, like a piece. So let's try to unravel a bit
Yeah. I
some
want
of the transits.
I'm glad you brought up the waves of mass awakening. I literally, when
Yeah,
I recorded my 2026, what I was feeling into,
yeah,
put up that up for the podcast last week, and I literally just kept tuning into that. It feels like there are waves of people waking up this year, spontaneous healings happening, mass
yes,
awakenings, big things are happening for people. And maybe it's people who have never experienced this, and maybe those who have already been through awakening or healing, you're about to have another wave of it hit you. And
mhm.
I think a lot of people are going to be turning towards people like us and anyone who has been spending the last 10 years or maybe
Or a
15, 20
lifetime.
years or a lifetime building up what they have now and how we are to be of service. You know, when I've said, because you're in my business school, right? And I've been saying this for years, I'm like,
Yeah.
guys, I'm telling you, the waves of people are coming that are going to need your service, that are going to need your products, that are going to need you. You
I
know,
always remember you when I look at people like how you said, no, we don't have enough healers. No, we don't have enough like these type of practitioners. There's going to be so many people who will need that, and
yeah.
so many people who also our abilities and gifts will come online. Like, sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to
Right.
say that.
Right. So it's like I was also saying it's a big year for soul purpose because a lot of people are going to come online and be like totally called to something. The calling within them will
Yeah,
rise up and be a very loud noise, not noise, a calling, a sound, a whisper, a bang over the head. I don't know how it's gonna hit you. It depends on how you want to work with it. But people are
yeah.
gonna be stepping into purpose. People are gonna be healing. People are gonna be awakening. There's a lot of clarity. Also, I think the Neptune and Gemini is really gonna help with this in the start of
Uranus
the year.
moves into Gemini. So
Sorry,
Neptune moves
there you
into
go.
Aries,
Uranus.
Uranus in
Yeah.
Gemini.
Like
Yeah.
almost like I've heard it explained by other astrologers too, like the way we receive information, the way we perceive information, the speed at which we're
Yeah.
receiving something maybe years ago it would have taken months to land. Now it's going to be like instant. The way we're
Yes.
looking at information is very going to be very different in the next decade. And I think that goes
It
with the time topic that you were talking about too.
Yeah, I think the time goes with, I think, with everything like Neptune, all of the convergence kind of cycles and all of this coming together, like is affecting because we cannot separate one transit like like there is so much convergence of cycles. Even I'm not an expert in like this yugas and Kali Yuga, the
Oh,
age of
yes.
darkness
Yes.
also ended last year.
Yes.
So, like in a way, like
Yes.
so that's like the
I
timeline. So
heard
if
that
there's a
too.
new, so 12,000 years. So there's like layers and layers um of changes and shifts. And but there's an underlying kind of what I wanted to say when you were talking, people coming online. This will be this the and the difference will be people will sense people if we are no longer able to bypass or override our soul as much as we used to, like the like how we are programmed lifetimes of like cellular like trauma. We carried all of that generations. Now we are healing, releasing a lot of it, specifically in the year we are still in snake year. It's been a lot of inward releasing, dance, medicine going inward, meaning very type of this energy. And then as we move into the fire horse, it's like we will trust the movement. And it's not like we need to go away for like we take the wisdom of the snake
Mhm.
because we have shed. So the essence of like it's almost we have become more ourselves. Simultaneously, we're shifting into a new level of self-consciousness, but we are also simultaneously returning to who we are more and more. So we will be repulsed by fake versions of us.
Mhm.
And also when um, and intuitives talk about split timelines, it's not so much as they like because you imagine like split like that, like 2D, or it's more of like an overlaying
Mm.
layer of reality, which is more discernment, more clarity, more high frequency. And then you might feel like you don't want to interact with certain environments or certain people because so there's just a little bit of that. And I don't want to go deep into because each of these kind of, and we will dissect this as the
Yeah.
year goes in our monthly podcasts and recordings. But today, yeah, we're trying to kind of talk about the energy as a total. So what's happened? So the bigger things. Let's talk about the Neptune. Let's talk about Neptune and Aries. Well, we can talk about. I don't even know where to start. That's how my
I know it's all
brain.
so exciting, and it's all, I feel like there's a bunch happening sooner than later. And then there's transits happening in like around the summertime too, that seem really potent for people.
Yes. So Saturn. There's a So Neptune enters in Aries, so because it's been like so it's been back in it was in entered in Aries, then it went back, and now in January this month Neptune enters permanently into Aries until May 21, 2038.
Yeah, it's
So
like a
that's about
14-year
14
transit.
year
Yeah.
long. So that's Aries energy. So let's talk a bit about the 0 point about Aries also, and then see how everything ties together. So Saturn is also going through, it was retrograde and turned direct recently, and now it's going in February, middle of February, it goes into Aries and stays until 2028. So this is the zero, and then April also has. Let's talk about the 0 point a little bit more, and then tie
Okay.
into other. Um, because it feels so big, and I think even though it's in, well, it's soon in February, and time goes really, really fast. Like days can feel slower, but weeks and months go really rapidly, and it's really interesting. So this is kind of, it feels like a beginning of new era, and I we are December was a strong kind of tipping point with maybe like those of you who are tuning like the Atlas 3 and all that frequency coming in. And another thing I want to say, we have a lot of assistance in this time of ascension. Like I feel it, and I feel like I've heard others also to confirm the same message. But there's also, because we have, and the other thing that came through was Earth is one of the toughest schools to come on.
Yeah.
So those of us, like we are here, we are the ones who are assisting us are really, they are proud of us and they're helping us, but we also have free will.
Yeah.
So they interfere to a certain level, but then there's also free will and a lot of choice points, which was the choosing sovereignty, choosing not being the same thing that when we are feeling like helpless or affected by what's happening, like we can choose, like even if we can't do something physical, we can choose meditation, we can choose sitting and praying. All of those things are really powerful. I
Right.
know I'm digressing in many different
Oh
ways, so you
no.
can
Oh
bring
yeah.
me back.
Oh no, just go. LOL. Just go. We're here to go.
um where was I?
The zero
So
point
yeah,
two era.
new era. So this hasn't happened. Saturn Neptune conjunction hasn't happened for 6,000 years. And
Crazy.
also hmm?
Crazy. That sounds amazing to me.
Yes, it's a new
6,000 years. Yeah.
and also uh the other is Pluto is in Aquarius in the beginning degrees of Aquarius. Uranus will enter Gemini, so they have a trine. So this is an air trine, and in the midst of them is Neptune and Saturn. So this type of it has never happened. Like as soon as we can look back into history, this type of how does not convergence, like a configuration.
Yeah.
So this is also an opportunity for us, like this is asking us, what do you want to create? So this will become stronger and stronger. Who are you? So this is more of also who we are becoming, like how, and there can be a sensation, especially because the Neptune is in the final degree and Saturn is like this dissolution of time, Saturn in Pisces. There is a sense of, because if we will be flooded with a lot of information now, it's like it can like kind of destabilize more. So I think it comes in as we are ready. In even with that, it feels like the change is, especially with like I feel it very fast. Like it's shifting, the energy is shifting constantly.
Mhm.
But it's very exciting. And yes, there are timelines that are horrendous, and like just a little bit, because it's like not bypassing that reality, but we have to remember, when we feed a certain timeline or sickness or helplessness or war, like as long as we'll feed it as humanity, it will keep existing. And the moment we shift and take our power back and, okay, can we choose different? What are the tools? What can I do? Because, and in a practical way, there's so many, like in how to healers, energy thought, energy leaders. You know what I mean? Intuitives, spiritual leaders who truly are here like they have the true pure mission to help humanity. There's meditations, like thousands of people coming together, and we can see across the world, when people come together, the frequency of peace and healing is, oh, I'm getting goosebumps. So this is really powerful. People do not understand yet. A lot of people don't understand how powerful it is when we come together, even a small group, a bigger group, thousands of people, how it affects the whole world. And like concentrating energy of thousands of people on a war zone, how it can change that. Not in a second, obviously, but sometimes people can feel helpless. What can I do? You can do for free. You don't, if you can, obviously, if you can participate physically, yes, go and do that, but you can do it for free in your home. Like go to this, like join online for the meditation, do it for yourself.
Mhm.
Because we forget that it starts with us, it starts inside, like that. And consciousness, rising of consciousness is within you, it's not out there. And the same as astrology is just a language that's um translating consciousness and reality. It's one of the languages and one of the tools we can use. It's not out there, it's translating what's happening in here, even though it's like appears out there.
Ooh,
Okay, that was great.
I, everything you
Like,
said just made me so
hmm?
excited to get my book out, because everything you're saying is backing up what is in those pages. And I am literally putting out a fucking manual to help people through everything you're saying right now. Right?
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
Go, just share a little bit more, because I'm interested to hear a bit more,
Well,
because I
what's
think
interesting
you.
what's interesting is that when we're talking time, we're talking about the synchronicities, we're talking about the speed at which it's like, uh now knowing where we're going astrologically now, and with these transits and what I've been seeing people talk about and what I've been studying myself for the last few months, I'm like, oh, this is why the book had to come out now. If this had landed, and you just gave me a huge nod right there, right? If this had
Yes.
landed when I first wrote it, like I started writing it 2.5 years ago, it wouldn't have landed like it did. It landed like it needed to. And the right people and the right eyes and the right people were part of it and got the ebook and stuff. But now this to me makes sense why this will be a manual basically for this new phase that we're walking into. I'm trying to choose the tagline, not the tagline, but like the subtitle right now. And I'm
Yeah.
really set on it's called The Next Era of Soul-Led Business,
Yeah.
Income, and Impact. I might change the
Love it.
income
I'm
word
getting goosebumps. Yeah.
because it's like,
Love
and
it.
there's all this like a practical guide to or how to. And I know the how to's sell well on like Amazon and stuff, but there's something about saying like the next era of soul-led business. That is what I'm here. That's what I've been teaching and, shouting from the rooftops for the last 15 fucking years. You know what I mean?
I
And
do know
it's
what you
like,
mean.
so I'm like, oh, everyone's caught up with me now. Oh, it's ready to be in the hands of thousands of people. Like I see thousands of people using this book as a manual for
Yeah.
their growth, their ascension process, their soul's evolution to fulfilling the purpose they came here to fulfill from A to Z, right? From soul to strategy. And that's what the whole thing
Yeah.
is. So it has really kicked up. The thing is snowballing now, talking about the time and everything you're saying. It has sped up. It is happening. It's almost like it's out of my control. I have fully released
Yes.
over to the divine will of this creation. At the same time, I'm the bitch that has to do the whole thing. LOL. But I have teams of people helping me now. It's got an editor and a self-publishing boutique helping me. I've got my technology and media best friend helping me with all of it. And now I have a school. I just got accepted by my university to be part of their senior capstone project. So they're going to
That's
be designing me
amazing.
a cover, a press kit, a media kit, social media blitz, all of these things. So I have like all these people helping me now. Like it's bigger than me. It's always been bigger than me, but now everyone else can see it.
I really love everything you shared. There's so much. I love how timing, knowing to trust when you say it's I you surrender the timing, and sometimes the frustration will come as we can share this with anyone who has a purpose, or it's like you want to start something or you are have a business. Trust that like the next step will be real, and if it's almost feels like a bit stuck, the stuckness is also divine. Trust it. When you so there's different kind of signs we are more excuse me, we are more tuned in on when is the right timing, when to give. Like, so I feel with your book and where the humanity is shifting, literally we are in the beginning of a new chapter, and not like a one, like this is monumental, and this is also a one time kind of, we are given a huge blank slate to create. So this is also a big question mark for humanity as well. And there's a lot of assistance. We are not like alone, left in the dark. Even though it feels like that sometimes, do not never underestimate the power of guides and spiritual realm holding you. This is also teaching people how to come back to yourself, to your soul connections, to your connection to spirit. That's been happening also. Like, that's why the awakenings will keep happening, because people no longer can hold on to old attachments. They literally dissolve, and then you're almost like left, like, so you return to your soul. Anyways, back to your creation, which I think can apply the way you are creating as well. And this particular kind of, I feel it as a guide, as a guidebook
Yeah.
for so many of us. So I think the timing is beautiful, and I think that it's also teaching us this lesson in trust, like divine knows, like if we, the more we surrender and do it, surrender doesn't mean it's not a passive energy. It can be very active, it can be very very, but it's not like you override your intuition and your body consciousness or your soul guidance. It's more of trusting. and it can be very proactive. Surrender can be very proactive. Surrender can be, oh, there's an impulse, do this now. And even if you're scared, you do it because you know this is what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
So this is also what we're learning. It's very interesting. I didn't think I think about surrender and trust a lot in these times because our old kind of efforting doesn't get us anything, and more people will start to notice if you override your intuition, you don't, if especially grounding, resting. Oh, it's there's nowhere. There's like you go into a corner immediately, as in the old reality where we come from. We can effort, we can bypass, we can be sick, we can be like on adrenaline, we can or running on fear, building success on fear. That won't work. That's part of where I think your book comes in as well, where soul aligned. Alignment is a big soul alignment, and people there it's a lot of the things that I share, they are not really more meant to be understood mentally. It's more of but like you understand the truth as in your body. That's how I've always operated, but I didn't know that for a big part of my life that that's not how everyone operates, and we are all different. But all and also I want to mention how we before we went on, it's like we talked about weirdness. And it's like it's time to be as weird as you can in the best, like in the best, most beautiful way possible. Because there's a lot of people, which I love, are coming and sharing their stories, and I'm loving it. And it's weird and it's beautiful, and it's the Aquarius energy.
Mhm.
Um, which is about not fitting in. It's the opposite. Stand out as much as you can, and it's less fear around it because there's like the consensus. Because usually the consensus in the group holds a power, so it's difficult to stand out because you're going to be crushed, you're going to be isolated, blah blah blah. And a lot of us, for example, me, I've been on the like kind of out of the group and sometimes against like where I wanted to belong, but I've been always there. So that's my lesson. But I've seen a lot of people being, it's like you're on the outside, but now it's our time to like, okay, it feels like it's safe to just fully be without being constantly attacked and bullied. This is just an experience. I'm not saying I'm a victim of it, but it's true. This is very reality of a lot of people who have a different mindset, who have come to be a glitch in the system, even in your family. You can be inconvenience for a lot of, you can be a constant walking trigger without wanting to be that because it's very difficult. But there's a time that is shifting where we are taking back our power. And from my personal experience, it's liberating. And also the other part I wanted to share. I'm going on for a
Yeah,
long time
go,
now.
go, 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 go.
Go on. Um, we are kind of in the middle where a lot of the old, because I noticed we want to hold on because the changes are like very constant. And I think we are learning to be in the change and be like, okay, we can trust. I'm
Mm.
gonna give you. I feel like my flow of consciousness needs a break.
This reminds me of a video I did the other day where I was like sitting down and editing, and I was like, the same people who 10 years ago were judging us or confused about us or talking shit about us, or just like the family members
Mhm.
who couldn't support you because they didn't understand what we did and they were questioning us. And those same people are now looking to us, going,
Yes.
oh my God, thank God for you. So glad you are out there helping and fixing. And I'm like, newsflash, it's a fucking inside job. So we can't fix it for you. Okay. It's going to be an inside job for everyone on the planet. But
Hmm.
it's just so funny how like the tides have turned. Like,
Completely.
you
Like,
know,
and oh,
like
it,
almost like every family is now so proud of the black sheep in their family and they like rant and rave about them.
yeah. It's it's really beautiful. I'm not going to go into my personal story, but that like the energy has completely shifted from what I feel.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of it for a lot of the people. And it's kind of it's in and for me, so I share my experience because there I get so much healing from people that share their own, like, and it can be kind of particular, but there's, I think, a lot of, because, for example, what I've been through, my personal experience, I haven't shared, and it's not the time yet because I'm still kind of, I'm coming to terms with a lot of grief and pain and kind of the cruelty of what I've been through. I'm not taking the victim stance. I'm taking the stand. I'm seeing why everything had to happen. And where I'm standing now, I'm so proud of myself. And this is something I couldn't have said my whole life. It was the people that I've called crazy and isolated and all this whole, like, it's a whole package. And some it will be more of that. And some, like, there's different, everyone's different. But there is a common thread of extreme sensitivity. Also, there's an aspect of unconditional love and going through the learning your relationship and having this kind of, it's a lot. It's a separate podcast. I think it would be beautiful to, and I think my story is coming together, like, because the same as your project, like, when how I want to share. But as I'm speaking about it, by the way, it's coming. Like, you could just start sharing. That's what I'm getting, like. Start sharing a little bit. So I'm getting, that's my next thing. Just start sharing. Anyways,
No, this is good.
so
Can I say I want to back this up with I have been just overwhelmed by, I'm a Druid storyteller, I'm a writer, all of that. But really, the theme of storytelling has been so hot and heavy in our business school lately. And I'm
yeah,
even just studying more and more. I've always studied lightly about storytelling, about that. But this is the future of selling. Storytelling is the future of marketing and advertising with the rise of AI, which I love. I love using AI. I'm not against it. But still, it doesn't matter. People are going to be more drawn to the human. And it's giving everyone this AI, this technology, it's giving everyone the ability to become more human. We want to hear more from humanity. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear
yeah,
individual, unique stories. It's so important. I dedicated an entire chapter to the art of storytelling and copywriting. Because, and it's really hard because it's healing. It's a healing process to be able to get really clear about your story. And like you were
yes,
saying, be the hero of it and not the victim of it. Be the hero of it and not necessarily the victim, that the villain, whatever other
yeah,
part you've been given to play in your healing journey, and really stepping into the hero's journey side of it. It's going to be quite an experience for a lot of people. And those of us that are already in the game, that already have these things organized out, businesses organized out, platforms established, empires established, businesses established, it's going to be a big diving board energy for us to, like, really come out with that deeper thing. Like you and I, we've already set the tone, we've set the foundation, we've set the house,
yeah,
the house, you know, now it's
yeah.
a huge fucking pool party or something. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, for you, I think I watched you. We've been connected for years now, and I'm so grateful for our friendship and connection. It's really so healing and expansive. And I watched your story tell from the beginning, and it's so I've learned all this time. But everyone has a certain time. I fully think that there's really deep parts of it's not like, something happened to me many years ago. Like, there was a continuous happening until probably 2 years ago, when I'm like, okay, I'm stepping into something else.
Yeah.
And so you need, like, I am not the one, like, the my healing process had to be sacred and withdrawn from the
Yeah.
eyes. That is so everyone can be. And I love watching people who share raw and
Mhm.
honest. And often that has helped me because, okay, that's great. But everyone has their own way. So that also, we can be different. We can be different. But the common thread is what you said, sharing our individual stories, like, and storytelling as art is gonna become, it's not mass marketing, copy paste marketing when you take someone else's. I would say that's dead.
Yeah.
People want frequency, and same about AI. People attack AI or this. Yes, in some in it's the same thing as with everything that is given to human being. Give it to good money to good human being, they will make good things. Give AI
Right.
to like use it for good. You can definitely use AI for good, and it's not only connected to storage. It's more of organizing or whatever you want to use it. But it's not. So this is use new tools for good. Anything at all.
Yeah.
That's how I see ever use AI is a great tool to organize your life, your business, and going back to storytelling, like what I've noticed and learned and kind of received guidance and also read, it's one of like it's becoming gonna become the main because it's like you are a transmitter on your own frequencies through the story. It's not a copy paste like a copy. It's more of a because people. So this is how people will connect. It's they're connecting to your frequency, and that's kind of coming through your story, whatever you're sharing. And story can be anything.
Mhm. Right. Oh my God. Yeah.
It can be like what happened today, and it can be like it can. It's like
It's an
yeah,
ancient,
this
it's an ancient soul technology.
yes, and it's beautiful, and it's potent, and it's healing, and it's you. Everyone can just you. This is new what I'm realizing right now, but this is so potent and so beautiful. Like just sharing your story can you don't have to go to the marketing school, really. You
Exactly.
can, obviously. I'm not saying do not go to schools. Go and learn. I love learning nonstop, by the way. And I will learn and I'm learning language, I'm learning the structure language. I love language and expression. But storytelling is the next kind of big, this beautiful adventure I want to dive in. And I have already, because I'm doing more and more personal parts in my posts when I feel like it. But I want to take it more to next level. So that's where your probably guidebook will come in.
Hmm. But also, you're an astrologer, and I feel like astrology is the story of the stars.
That is also true. This is, yeah, because I've translated and told stories, and I love telling mythical stories, and I love more and more to weave in. I love, oh, this is actually, I'm doing it. It's not like
Gorgeous.
it's,
Yeah.
I am realizing a lot of things. I am doing it because the way, what I'm meaning, like there's this kind of almost I'm separating the astrology as a storytelling and my personal story. So I've been trying to fuse them both, which
Yeah.
feels like a very more organic
Yeah.
way because like they are not really separate, but because yeah, it's a process of how we find like it's a beautiful process and I'm trusting it. It's nothing and I'm trusting the timing.
Also, I
But
was gonna say the timing for you too is like, I bet let the transits, let the stars, let the transits trigger the stories that want to come.
true.
So it's like you don't have to go rack your brain and go think of a story. It's like technically
No,
whatever's transiting right now is what it's going to pull up in you.
but that's I have like probably a full folder of documents when I've written
I
out.
bet.
I have just not so literally I was saying like because I'm getting back into more of so I've written out like structures and I have like 20 articles which is personal stories which haven't been published yet. So that's
Wow.
so this is what I'm talking about, this little kind of hill that I'm stepping over, you
Yeah.
know. So there is a moment where I'm fusing, but I wanted to make it like this is a stream now. So the channel.
Mhm.
So this is actually a great moment, even though we I'm using our podcast. But this can be great for someone else
Great.
who is on the verge of sharing their story. So you can start in a little bit, and then for me, how it comes to the point when there's a tipping point, and then it's like I can't not share.
Yeah.
So all of those articles and stories that are written out and that are in those documents, they are just going to pour into the world. Maybe from tomorrow. Maybe I need one day rest and then start. Like I don't have days of the week. It's just like when it starts pouring, it just pours out.
Yeah.
And I love it. And then it's not like, then it's almost unstoppable. Like you say, it has its own voice and rhythm.
Mhm.
Oh my God, thank you so much for coaching me through this.
Hey, no, whatever that was.
Oh,
Sure. No, I think
This
it's
is
good for
great.
people to see our, because these are really like, I feel like they're just like intimate conversations that you and I have. We just hit record
Yes.
that we share with people. Like, so everyone just, you get to hear the behind the scenes of a conversation between you and I. And wait, this actually goes into the next point I wanted to bring up was a big sensation I felt with this year was facing your fears, like really greatly, bigly, big, facing your fears
Yes,
this year. And I think that ties in with the fire horse, the year of the fire horse, right? It ties into all that Aries
it
energy.
does. I think like this feels so overwhelmingly the movement of like the snake year, which we are still in, can it's medicine through pressure, it's through release, through looking back, ancestry, heal. Like there's so much healing that we have do, like some of us consciously, some of us like spontaneous, like you said. There's still a shift. Even people who don't know they are shifting and they just don't know it, but it's happening.
Totally.
And through the snake era, this like, so we learn discernment, we learn um when to strike, when to conserve. So it's a deep, it's for me, it feels like a very plutonic, scorpionic medicine, which almost pulled us, pressurized us. Like it's like a little bit of a like diamond energy, like pressure. We have been sculpted under pressure this year a lot. And so the shift is not like this is a continuation, it's going to be a release. It's like the snake goes inward and the fire horse is moving outward. It teaches velocity, movement. So we're not going to be sitting like in this side. Oh, I'm getting goosebumps all over. This is liberated life force, embodied movement that comes from alignment, choosing direction, making decisions like fast. So the fear that like can come in and not like instead of sitting and dissecting, as in a snake here, we dissected where does it come from? Does it come from my family? Let's do this healing. We did a lot of that. So we
Yeah.
took out a lot of garbage. We're still gonna do it like until February 17th. So if you are exhausted,
Mhm.
God bless you. Is this she sneezed? Um, and if you're still kind of cocooning a bit, that is just the end of the tail, your snake. But also it's like I can feel the fire coming, and it goes on with all the in April, like at around equinox when its sun goes into a 0 point of Aries, and Mars and Venus or Mercury and Venus always is close, and there's a new moon around that time. So this time there is also Neptune and Saturn. So the courage, I feel the energy of courage, of just this released fire of creation where fears just literally burn up into this fire and we keep moving forward instead of trying to dissect it. So it's huge, beautiful, this expansion energy that it's gonna not override the fears, but it's more like, okay, I'm feeling this. Is this mine? Is this a story? A lot of the times when I look at my fears, when it comes, this story is not mine. Yes, and also the other thing I will tell, for a lot of us, the biggest fears, the time where we are shifting the most, the fear will come the strongest. It will almost be like a wave because it's been your protector for so many maybe lifetimes and generations, that it will feel like overwhelming. Let it be, feel it, separate yourself a little bit as a story and an emotion. Let it go through you,
Mm.
then step into the next. That's
Ooh.
been happening a lot, and this, I believe, happens to humans a lot, and it can feel overwhelming because the fear is like, oh, it feels like a backtracking because any kind of emotion, but the fear is the strongest, and then it's like anger is actually a beautiful fiery movement, which we will step a lot. We will step more into embodied fire, which is creation, but it can start like an anger is a boundary emotion. Anger is so healthy if you know how to channel it into creation. It's a moment, a lot of us feel anger because we have been, especially women but also men, with a lot of feminine energy, because it's been silenced for so many eons and punished and tortured and silenced that our throats are literally like my throat has been, I've been clearing my throat and I had like it's doing some purging for 6 weeks now. It's still happening. So there's like a lot of that fire, anger coming through, purging, clearing. So I think it's a preparation for moving into like when we embody our fire, it's beautiful. And that's what I feel with the fire horse and with all the Aries energy. The other part of it, the shadow part, can be we can experience a lot of fires around that time. Also, it can be a war energy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. Like it's like this is going to be time when humans come together and decide like what do we want this to be. So let's see, because I can't like this is difficult to predict because it's air and fire is different than earth and water where we've been.
Yeah.
And also Chiron is in Aries, and Aries, the goddess of war, is in Aries. So the war energy can be also looked as a recalibration of the old systems where we need to clear out, and it can temporarily look like the sweeping out, but then also a new so how I say this, there's a new vibration that's like coming in, like overlapping that. It's not easy. Like I can feel the energy. There's more knowing that we are starting to feel in our bodies, in our consciousness, like underlying knowing and more safety around, like, and not being in so much fear, if that makes sense, even with a lot of the change and fire that will be happening. Also, one important thing, if you are a fire sign or air sign, grounding is so important because it's gonna be very like I have all elements very equal in my chart, by the way. So, but fire signs and earth signs can experience it's a very like accelerated, activated time in spring.
Oof. Also,
Okay, this is I'm like I'm heating up talking about
I want
this.
to add on to the
Yeah,
we're talking about like that predictions and the like earth and water versus fire and air. I also want to remind everyone it's like because there are 8 billion of us making decisions on a daily basis, on a minute basis, the speed at which the consciousness is moving is also a big part of where we're heading and where we're going. We're
yeah,
kind of at this precipice. You said like the 0 point. We're at this like precipice of like, cool, is this going to go in the right direction? We would hope it goes in the right direction, right? We hope it would head
it,
towards, and
it
that's
will.
where I'm
But
putting my energy.
yeah,
Like that's where I want to put my hope and my energy is like, I'm here to build the new earth, baby. Like, let's fucking go.
yeah,
But what back to the free will, you know what I mean? Like any of these divine beings can't come down here and make decisions for us. And they can't come down here and take over our
yeah,
bodies and make heaven on earth. We have to do it. And we have to do it together and we have to heal and we have to upgrade our consciousness and we have to feel deeply and live that human experience out. And I think with the fire and the air, there's a speed level to this.
yeah,
Things can go fast in the way that
yes,
earth energy it can't.
yeah,
And in that water energy, it's more dense. And
yeah,
it's like we're walking into
mhm,
next, we're talking 14 years on some of these transits, 7 years on some of these transits, 10
yeah,
years on some of these transits. Like we know the next 10 years are going to be mighty, mighty interesting. We're talking up to 2036, right? 2037. Like it feels crazy to even say, right? But we've,
yeah.
what were you gonna say?
No, no, I'm listening. I'm just like I feel energetically resonance with what you're sharing. But all, not but no buts here. Also, when you said um, the more of us decide and understand that with our thought process, what we feed on a personal level, it will impact massively how the whole humanity, and there's a lot of support, there's a lot of things have already shifted. And yes, if you focus on watching the news or scrolling, your frequency can be in a different way. So be very careful what you feed. Whatever you will feed will keep expanding. And this, yes, it is how it works. It's when you put your thought into the quantum field, you're feeding a certain timeline constantly. And there's a lot of, I'm actually looking at habits and implementing new micro habits. You can do that as well. I pray a lot more. I visualize, I walk, there's a lot more kind of sovereign way of existing within how I've changed. And the world, I feel it's a really exciting and magical time we live in. And yes, like the horror timelines exist and they will keep existing as long as we feed them. Another interesting thing that really resonated, which I also feel new there is a certain level of which the star families or everyone who is assisting the earth in her ascension, they can interfere to a certain level where the low frequency, old, really dense, greedy type of humans have been living on this earth, like you, and literally enslaved, used, and siphoned energy from children. I know this is a heavy topic, but I'm just going to quickly share because this is
Yeah,
also
go for it.
reality. And we can't change it. It's really painful to hear.
Yeah.
And human trafficking and all of these things that happen, and these types of frequency beings are no longer allowed to incarnate. The new children that are being born and coming in are really high frequency because it's safer, and
Yeah.
the old ones will be keep dying off.
Hmm.
And this is literally how I feel this really as a truth when I heard it, and I have known it. Like there's a lot of information, and for a lot of us, it is like we will feel like, oh yeah, this is true. Thank you, like a relief almost when I hear that, because I do think that, I do believe that, and the new babies and the new, even my son is 14, his frequency is so different and I love it. And I'm like and your children and like everyone who's coming in, there is a safer frequency because of how future is. I do see futures, even in 7 years we will see a different world.
No doubt.
And because the change will be quick,
Mhm.
change will not take 20 years for
Agreed.
it can take 6 months now for what before, like how I see in a past time linear timeline, things took lifetimes to change. This time and change will, and like consciousness will accelerate to the point where the change will be quick, because Earth as a being literally is in, there is more like times when she's in like what I feel in rage, where it's just like phew,
Yeah.
like flooding out anger, trauma. She's shedding along with us because she's been abused and siphoned from. So that type of frequency is no longer to the point allowed on planet Earth in the field. And I know this is for some people, this will resonate with those who want to hear this.
Yeah.
And this for me is a relief.
I
It
want to
doesn't.
say,
Hmm.
go ahead. What were you to say?
No, no. No,
Two things real quick with that, because I wrote in the book that I believe not all parts of anger. I feel like there's different types of anger, but a
yeah.
big section of anger to me is untapped passion. When you have a lot of
So
untapped
true.
passion, untapped creativity, that you're not giving yourself the space and the place to let come to you and through you, I think it builds up as anger and resentment.
And it implodes as sickness and depression and anxiety. You've said this before, I remember.
Another point
Uh,
I want to make is when you're talking about that, I feel that lately there has been, I'm not talking less friction everywhere, but I am saying I'm sensing less friction between people on the planet, and boundaries that I think people had up are being dissolved in the realms of thinking that other people are different from them. So let me break that down. Go ahead, because you're
yeah,
you're nodding heavily
go
with.
on.
I'll say in my personal sense,
Yeah.
people that I thought were maybe like mind you, this is my ego, so I'm just gonna fucking say it. Like, I thought I was so spiritual and advanced or enlightened. And I'm saying those big words because this is, I've been on a healing journey and a spiritual journey for a
Yeah.
long time now. I thought I was, above them, let's say. And these are just regular, totally regular life people. We're talking like people I know in a network or from school that I went to school with, or a job you're in, or a family member, right? And what I've noticed over
Yeah.
the years is those boundaries that I created in my mind, because I projected that onto them, have dissolved
Yeah.
to the point where I've realized we're all at the same level. And there are levels. I agree with you. There are layers and stages to consciousness. 1000 fucking percent. Some people will stay in a state of consciousness their whole life. Some people will continue to evolve that state of consciousness. 1000%. But the boundaries that I felt and sensed and put up between me and what I used to call like the muggle. You know how we would say like, are you a black sheep or are
Yeah.
you a magic folk or are you a muggle? I'm really sensing those boundaries between me and muggles collapsing and noticing within the collapse of that boundary that they are just as advanced, that they have been doing the work, that they have been healing,
Yeah.
that their consciousness is rising too. And that's the fucking tide that is rising up together,
I
right?
love this. I get goosebumps. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, so I know I'm saying that because I can feel how deeply other people have felt that, right? And that's
Yeah.
where the
Separation.
yeah, it's like this, right? That separation we're casting between other people. I'm not saying this makes sense for every situation. We still need to put up boundaries with people. Hello. We still need to protect ourselves. This isn't what I'm saying, though, right? This is about what have we mentally projected onto people about being different from, and how we watch their growth. Can we attest to the fact that people are shifting in consciousness, whether they realize it or not? The
Yeah.
people talking about right now probably couldn't even follow what I'm saying. It doesn't matter, right? Or could they sit and feel and go, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago?
And often it's because of your frequency, but you just being you. And this goes for you, me, and many people, how it affects. That's another side note, but yeah, I just wanted to say how, like, can I respond? Just like, I loved when you say this, I get goosebumps because this for me shows, because separateness and differentiation and groups is like it's created for us to, it's another tool to siphon energy because as long as we fight with each other, and this is going deeper than what you shared,
Great. That's
but
great.
just like a bigger perspective, the more we fight against each other with each other, the more we're weaker, the weaker we are. And this is a frequency when I speak, we speak with bliss and serenity and love. Those frequencies exist on our field already. And this is what happens when like compassion, love, unity, understanding, they're coming in more. This is not woo-woo stuff. These are strong, powerful frequencies that are healing all of us. And that's how we feel. And I think it's beautiful to say, I have had a spiritual ego. This is part of the evolution. And we can
Great.
look, and it's beautiful. We look at, oh, that's like, I don't like that, like part of me. And this is not talking about boundaries. I think boundaries is something we learned and still are like put, like a lot of people have put in place, which has helped us to come back to ourselves and kind of shift our energy where it's needed. So like, so that type of, but the separation between us, and yes, like you say, the different consciousness levels exist and they will keep existing, but it doesn't mean that we are all in this together in a way that when compassion flows, let's say if you go, think about, like, I like this image, like, I don't know where it came from, but it just came from what I saw it already. When you go and you change someone's day with a smile or a gift or just a stranger, and then he changes and he goes home and it's like, and he keeps remembering you and he's like, I want to be more like that. And from that person, her family member is impacted and it trickles down. Imagine how many people, if we choose an act of kindness consciously, which for some of us, for me, since I was born, it was a natural thing. I'm not saying it like this has like been really exhausting for me and I needed to learn, but this is another thing. If we are kind and compassionate as much as we can, not letting it override or use our energy, it's like it will trickle out into the world as a compassion, as love frequency. And that's the more higher is love frequency. I am talking a lot with my hands. I think one day we have to start doing
We
video podcasts
definitely need to give
because
the video.
I'm doing so much hands and face. My face is always expressed. Like I think we need to start to go on video, even if we look
Yeah,
in pajamas.
yeah.
I think people will like because yeah, actually true.
Wait, can I bring
So
up?
that's
So, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah.
Good. Okay.
No, no, that's what I wanted to say. The living out love, living out your human self on the true frequency. Our true frequency is love. We are divine intelligence embodied in a human body. If we keep living that, I think it's like that's where the beautiful like kind of healing is coming from. It's coming from within. A lot of times we are just remembering who we are, which is divine intelligence and love.
I want to circle back around to what you were saying about the Kali Yugas because I too have been listening to other people who study this. I don't study it, but I listen to people who study it because I'm getting the
Yeah.
cliff notes. Let's be real. Do
Yeah.
you listen to Laura Matsu?
No, but I'm what so Laura?
Yeah, she's amazing. Just on the side, I think you'd really, you see me share her stuff on social media.
Yeah.
It's like I feel like the way I come at spirituality now is just from a place of like, I'm trying on a regular basis to learn objectivity, to be objective and not
Mhm.
subjective, right? The lower
Yeah.
levels of consciousness are more subjective. And what that looks like for any of our listeners, it's like, they're good, they're evil, my God is right, all the other gods are wrong, like that type of
Hmm.
just I came it's like that is total example of like 3D consciousness and we're playing it out. You see it's still playing out on the planet, right? And then we
Yes, it
go
feels
into that.
exhausting.
It's
Yeah.
exhausting,
So
right? You're right. It's like it's so subjective. It's I'm right, you're wrong bullshit. We're right.
yeah.
And I know even people hearing this are going to get so triggered by that because they're like, oh, my political party's right and they're evil and this and that,
Or
blah, blah, blah. Right. When you
yeah.
start getting to the fourth dimension and up, it starts to become objective. It starts to go, maybe there are more truths than the ultimate truth. The only actual ultimate truth is that there are many truths, right? Like the ultimate change is
Mhm.
that there is constant change. So,
Yeah.
um, listening to the shift, I also have been listening to people who are studying the shifts, right? The yugas, and how the shift has ended. They're saying the Kali Yuga has ended in the year 2025, right? That's what you heard. And it was like
March
12,
2025. Yeah.
yeah, like 12,000 years of it's the iron age, right? It's the like depth of darkness in this cycle. And we're
Yeah.
heading towards another age, but there's going to be a 1,200-year period of integration between now and then. And I think this is important for so many of the people who are alive and incarnated on this planet right now is that we know what that future can look like. We understand this idea, or we try to conceptualize this idea of a golden age, or maybe we call it the new earth, right? But when you put your feet on the ground and you open up your phone, it becomes so apparent how we are literally still in the iron age of consciousness. And we are here as bridge builders to help get to that. We are here to build the arc. We are here to build the bridge to those years. It's not going to arrive in March. You know what I mean? We are here to build this
Yeah.
and bring this to life. And I feel like it's because I hear a lot of people complain, like, shouldn't this be the new earth already? And I'm like, we've got a lot to do on the planet before we're actually experiencing that. And also to give like that sounds pretty elusive. The new age, the golden age, what the fuck is that, right? The golden age can be explained as there are no there are no leaders because everyone is of a sovereign state. We need no healthcare because everyone is in optimal health, right? There are specific triggers to that age, right? So there wouldn't be wars, let's say, right?
Yeah.
That is obsolete in that time. And I feel like when I talk about this with people, it's like it gives them the exhale they need to not be in an anxious state about what we're seeing and sensing on the planet. A lot of people are in anxiety right now. A lot of people are in depression right now. A lot of people are like healing or hiding, and in whatever way that looks. And I know it's hard to hear, right? I know it's hard to say, and I can feel it in my body saying this. It's like, oh, no, I should keep this, more light and love. But no, we talk about some darker, deeper shit on this podcast, right? Like, we are here to, those of us that are here to do this are here to work together to build the path for living like that again on the planet. And the way we get to do it is pull it into our body now and live it
Mhm.
now, right? We got to go beyond ideas and actually get into embodiment. We got to go beyond that's a great vision, that's a good idea, and actually pull that into our action, into our human self and being on the planet. And I think all these Aries planets are going to be a fire lit under our fucking asses to do that. Okay, sorry. That was my.
Yeah, no, you don't have to apologize. No, I'm just listening. I think I agree to the point that we are in a shift. So this, like, we are incarnated in this time, we are in a very beginning of a shift. So
Yeah.
so there is, and there's gonna, it's good, there's gonna, I feel there's gonna be speed, there's gonna be change, all of those parts, but and not but and where we are going, I think vision is important for what you shared. The old, like, I think also not forgetting that a lot of the frequency of that new earth, or however anyone like identifies that, a lot of it is energetically already here. Like, it's our, like, so our planet and our consciousness of the planet is pulling energy. So this will resonate with some in how you experience pulling from the future. So it's like it's coming
Yeah.
in more and more and more, and we can feel it in our bodies. That's why we are often tired, because it, like, all the soul, like Schumann resonance, that's the energy of, like, it's clearing out the old and the new is coming.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think so. This is what I'm getting now. I don't think it's going to be as long as we thought before. Not in the next few months, but in the next years.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to
Right.
see incredible change. So
Yeah.
that I want to share that as well, because like in that, like, when what we see in like Atlantis or Lemuria, or that type of frequency when they were at their highest,
Mm.
yes, that will take longer, but to live in a different body, in a different consciousness, not in a different body in the sense, like in a more authentic version of us and the earth itself, it won't take centuries, it will take years. Yes, years. Like, so, and I can't predict anything, and I don't, but there's the change is coming, not as it's not, do you know what I'm saying? It's not as close, but it's also not as far as we thought
This is
before.
the whole
There
time
is, it's
conversation.
shifting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is
The
the whole time.
universe is fractal. Like, some change, it felt like, oh, it's going to be so far, and then it's like, it's now, today, it's happening. We are already in the beginning of a massive shift. When history, like, if there's written or any time, like, it's going to be different technology of how history is being registered, they will look at December 2025 as a huge change, shift point, a change point,
I love that.
catalyst. And then there's more, like the Atlanta, like the 3-1 Atlantis, and then there's Sedna is one. We can have a separate, like, conversation, like the mythical. And so, so it's a very, there's these catalysts that are the change, like, it's, we are in it, and we can feel it. So, and often language is not, oh, and this is a beautiful thing that's coming in. Silence is going to be one of the most beautiful things where you will find healing and peace. And not always language will be something that, especially in the beginning, I feel it. It's not in the words. We might have to create new language and words, which we are constantly doing for the new frequencies and the new reality we're living, and that's beautiful. So we can acknowledge and participate in shifting the horror and dark parts of our reality, but we can also be incredibly grateful for what's coming in and what's possible. And sorry, God, I'm coughing. You speak.
This is okay. So A good example of this and what you're saying, and like this whole integration period, this whole transition period, right? Um, I can't remember who I saw it or who said it just the other day, but it really hit me. They were like, war is obsolete. And I was like, yeah, like it just was such a truth. It just hit me. And I was like, yes, like it is obsolete. Now, we're recording this in January of 2026. Like our country just made a big fucking move in a war. Like, you know what I mean? Like we've got our hands in like six different fucking wars right now, but like that's what I mean by this transition period. We know in a higher state of consciousness that it is obsolete, that it is
Yeah.
not going to be part of our future operating system. But still right now it is being played out. It is being,
Yeah.
we're going to see that in a lot of different ways. And not just giving one example, right? We're going to see that play out in a lot of different ways. And all of us are here for so many different sections. Actually, that's another thing I want to say. I think a lot of people get overwhelmed with how many things are happening on the planet. Of course,
Yeah.
people are, right? You agree with that. Like people. So, what I say to people, and this is an annoying part of the book, LOL, but I've been saying it for a year, is like stick to what you are called to, what you're triggered by, what your
What's your
emotion
truth? What's true to
about,
you?
what you're true. Like you can't try to have your hand in a million pots and spread your energy thin, trying to help every situation on the planet. Some people are really activated by what happened 2 days ago in this country. Some people are activated by what's happening in the Middle East. Some people are activated by what's happening in Europe. Some people are activated by what's happening in their hometown. Like, you gotta let people have their process. We're all here in different classrooms for specific reasons. If everyone was obsessed with everything, nothing would get done. Nothing would get done, right? And there's a lot of judgment, at least in this country. There's a lot of judgment towards people like, you should care about this. You should care about this. It's like, okay, everyone, you need to focus on what you're being called to. Go ahead. I
It's
see.
interesting. I want to say to this, you should care. This goes back to whatever timeline you feed, it will keep existing. And sometimes this is a new, no, this is for other things, people, this is the understanding how our mind in a quantum field feeds a timeline nonstop. You are, you are committed to something all the time, fighting for your limitations, like what, like let's do extreme example, watching news all day. I should care. This is not caring. Like, yes, on a certain level of consciousness it can look, I care because I watch it and I'm suffering in fear.
Yeah.
Well, no, this is the complete opposite. You are participating in a timeline that is actually bringing down the frequency of this planet. So no, I will, like, from my point, yes, it might be, yeah, no, you're not helping. Like, in a bigger sense, there is, I stand in a certain where I look at, like, I don't think that's the right thing. Like, I can't change it when I look at someone, but sometimes I don't know, it's not, not go, anyways, not dissecting the any type kind how we look at things, or it's not about judgment, but it's about seeing what is helpful, how, and also the choice, how much we have a choice all the time. We are committed fully 100% to something every day. If, or either not all the, even if you think you're not committed to anything, if you're not doing anything to your health, or and this is not for people who need rest or need to do nothing. This is, we are fully committed 100% to whatever we are doing, either if it's programmed, either if it's a habitual thing. So when we understand, like, the Aries energy will trigger an awakening of sovereignty, of, yes, I do hold the power to choose all the time which timeline you feed. And yes, there's an overwhelming majority of one level of consciousness to focus on war and what's going on and be in fear. But there's another huge groups of people that are growing and growing and growing, focusing on being in a completely different frequency of love. And that's not woo-woo, that's much stronger.
Right.
Love is stronger than fear. And the fear is overwhelming the planet, because when the old structures of darkness are dying off and being overcome, and yes, a lot of there's so many levels of how people, not levels, many timeline, let's call them timelines of how, where people are tuned into, and whichever you will feed, you'll be on that.
Absolutely. Oof.
That's it.
Oof. Okay.
And yeah,
It's already been an hour and 40 minutes.
I think we did good.
I think
I
we did.
think this was a great conversation.
So basically, the transit that's happening because we're recording this in January. So the biggest thing happening is what, January 26th? So what's the day? January what for Neptune entering Aries?
So the biggest transit of the year is when Saturn conjuncts Neptune in February 2021 or
Or
something, but
sorry,
we will feel
just
it.
for January. What's the January?
January 26th is Neptune goes into Aries like permanently because it's, it retrograde into no, Pisces it's now. So now we actually let's note quickly so Neptune has what 160 I always forget 160 years of orbit. Give me 1 second. 14 years in one sign, right? So don't know like the full. Anyways, never mind. I can't do math right now. So Neptune is at 29 degrees of Pisces together with the last month and a little bit of the snake year. So you might feel we covered the whole year of energy, but this might be still a time where you feel that need to withdraw. You need to
Yes.
take care of yourself. Also, I want to remind little practical things that really change the frequency and how you can live, which I do. If can I
Yeah,
before we
please.
end?
Yeah.
Little things like allowing yourself to rest when you really need to rest, take time off, put boundaries. Like sometimes it's hard, and we talked about personal situations before this when we are letting go of old layers and old situations, and do not be afraid when you are in between. Yes, you will it will feel unusual, but let the void be healing, let the silence be healing, let the rest heal you. Take vitamins, go for walks, little things like meditate, pray, talk to your soul. Silence is a huge healer in this time right now when it's the end of a lot of cycles. And we haven't really 2026, yes, because we are as a group we have because that shifts something in energetically, and it did. But we are truly entering acceleration and more of a movement in end of February and March and like springtime. So
Right.
now can be a beautiful time. Also, before big, huge, like a lot of people have done quantum leaps, like where it's like we are a little bit hanging in the middle when the old identity has dissolved. By the way, with the time,
You're
I'm,
fine. Oh, please.
oh,
Please go.
just want to because these are a kind of big things that really helped me to understand, like if you feel like you are in that liminal space, a lot of us are. Neptune 29th degrees, Saturn in last degrees of like there's no time. So we're living in very dream spaces, very very intense and very active. So give yourself compassion, give yourself grace, and give yourself love yourself. That means sending love to your heart, to your body. Like do little things like hug yourself, anything, any self, taking care of yourself, loving yourself. It's the biggest rebellion you can do. And silence, rest can be the biggest rebellion in this time of like, go to the gym. Yes, I'm not saying be fat and lazy. Or be if you want. No, don't be. But take rest if you want to. Allow yourself to not go with the common consensus if it's against your soul.
Right.
Listen to your body. Do little things to take care of yourself. Anyways, that's
I live on the wheel of the year, and the winter is not time to start stuff. And I think people still feel so much pressure to start something new. And I just had our seasonal strategy planning session for winter a couple weeks ago for our school. And it's like, no, this is like it aligns perfectly. Like Imbolc happens on February, right? That's when we consider the light really returns, and that's when the ewes
Mhm.
start to be born and milk starts to come back. The milk is flowing. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we made it through the winter. We're gonna like make it to spring. Cool. But
Yeah.
really like that, like until Aries season, until that February, those big transits. So until then, like I'm just backing you up on this thing, like rest. Like I've just been going in and sleeping as much as I can. When I feel called to sleep, I sleep. If I'm tired, I'm tired. If I need to lay down and shut my brain off and put all these projects,
Yeah.
I can go watch TV and watch a good story, watch a good show. I'm doing it. We got a sauna too. We got a sauna box. So I've been sitting in
Oh my God.
150-degree heat, like 4 to 5 days a week. I also got a
Oh,
walking pad. So I'm walking, I'm bringing the kids down to nature when it's not frigid out. We're walking, I'm just sitting
yeah.
by the sea. And because I can feel the action and the steps I'm going to have to take and the things that are happening this year. But I'm like,
Exactly.
this is my time to still kind of be in hibernation, chill the fuck out, calm down. I'm also getting help. I'm really asking for help and getting help in so many
Yeah.
different spaces and places in my life where it's like, I can't do all this. I'm not going to be able to do all this myself between projects and kids and the businesses, so like really like right now, Jayme and I are calling on our team even harder right now and saying like
Yeah.
who we need to employ and what are the things we need help with. So also side note, human design side note, we'll have to do this for your chart when we have our call.
Yeah.
Um
Like, can't wait.
so with when you were saying about the silence and everything, my in your human design chart, there's a section that shows you what the first 42 years of your life are themed as, and then what the second
Oh my
42 years
God, I'm so
are.
excited.
Yeah, so
That's
let's
literally 42. Sorry to,
how
I'm
old are
gonna
you?
get
No,
so
this is good.
excited.
How old are you?
No, I'm gonna be 44 in a week,
Okay.
18 of
But
January.
2 years ago was that big
2 years
transit.
ago, I made the decision.
Yes.
Decision was so pivotal when I was 22, and it wasn't immediate. It was October 16. I remembered like the day I said, "There's no more of this. I'm going to die." That was my reality. I was
Years
going to
ago.
spiral out and die.
42.
Literally, no, actually, ritually, not even hypothetically. It was bad.
Yeah.
And from that moment on, I can look back and see how I listened to something higher, and I listened to myself. It's like, this is the time we are changing everything. And then I've been taking slow steps. I think I've been going so slow because I've needed. So I can't wait for this. But I also see how life truly starts after some time, like 44 in 40s. True,
Yeah.
true, true. And as a humanity, life for everyone really truly will start about this time. A lot of people feel that because we are returning to ourselves.
Great.
That's another side note.
So
Yeah.
we got to figure that out in your chart. I forget what
Yeah.
my first 42 years, and I'm only 40, so I really feel this shift coming for me. But it's still
Yeah.
like, it lands and it integrates and it crosses over, but I can feel it and I know it. So the next 42 years, it's the gate of the silent mystic. And I'm like, I can feel this so heavy. And it doesn't mean that I won't talk. LOL. I'm a talker. Ain't nobody.
Yeah.
But the energy feels so subtle and so powerful. Like this will probably be the decades where I'm walking into writing books and be invited on stages, right?
Yeah.
But
I
like
see
I
that.
can
I see that.
powerfully, subtly get my work out there. No more screaming from the rooftops, wanting to be seen and heard, wanting to help. It's like, no, I'm going to do it very gracefully. I'm going to do it very quietly. I'm going to do it from my fucking gorgeous house by the sea. And I'm going to get these books out, and the impact is going to be fucking huge.
Yeah.
And I'll be invited around the world to speak on stages and lead this. Your goosebumps. Yeah. Right. It's like,
Yeah.
so, for anyone that's hearing that, get a session with me because I help you specifically with the human design of your business and your soul purpose, not necessarily the other stuff, but yeah, like to look up things like this, I think it's really important. It really helps you go like, wow, that was one chapter and this is another.
Yeah. Yes. I can't wait for a call.
I know.
And yes.
We'll
I
put that.
think figuring out things about yourself at this time. I think there's a lot. You can use astrology, like you'd go to Jayme for all the things you do. Come to me for astrology sessions, which keep doing for now. Like things like you never know. Like I still enjoy them, but I feel podcasts cool, like more of a community. But also the vision that I've had since I was a little girl, and I loved listening to your, like the shift from like wanting to get your voice
Mhm.
out. And I think there's a part of like that is almost like we go through everything is part of that journey. And I think it's very I it's very empowering. And then comes a time when you're kind of like you return your energy and like your magnetism speaks for itself and it just draws in. That's how I see you. Just like it becomes like this energy just like draw like creating waves.
Mhm.
And also, yeah. Anyways, I can go on. We can do like
Why
a
don't we end with talking about what you're up to right now and how people can reach out to you and work with you, and then I'll share mine.
yes. You can do Jayme in a show in the notes you will see my website. So everything is there. You can go just go from there. I do astrology sessions. You can also so I do a continuous this is actually with you. We together decide I think. I do monthly astrology sessions and spiritual mentorship. So they're all mixed together. So it's you can monthly. So it's almost like it's affordable at this point. I don't know, things can change. And also another part of it is if you I also do monthly reports, which I have had really wonderful feedback, which is written like a 15 to 20 page personalized reports.
Woo.
So everything's on my website. Like it goes really deep. It's mystical, it's grounded. It's like I love to take them. I love to put like, I love the divine in the ordinary, but I also like to translate how it works through you very grounded, but not for like I love to mix the mystical with the grounded in my sessions and in my writing as well. So you'll find it like my name. So you can just
Yep.
how can I say like you'll find it in show notes. It's my name, my name.
And your
My,
social media, I put all that in there for you.
on social media, yeah, you'll find me. So you can find like all of everything goes through all the information in on any of the accounts, Instagram, Facebook, and website.
Cool.
Thank you.
What do I have going on right now? God, what do I not have going on right now? I feel like the biggest, obviously, I have Daydream Business School, which I've talked about a bunch on here, but what I'm gearing up for again is Mind Your Business, the 28-day distraction detox. And I am so excited to kick this off again. It's going to become a regular February event that I put on. And it really is a group of people who are just like, I need to reel my focus and attention back in. I need to retake charge of it. And the distraction detox is brilliant. I just basically email you a new topic to go deep with every day. And it ends up being like a profound initiation and shift by the end of the month. Everyone chooses their own way they want to detox. For example, mine was that I wasn't allowed to scroll all of February. So I could go on, I could post, I could search someone if
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to. My clients
Yeah.
could still tag me to things and I could see things, but I couldn't scroll. And I swear to God, it set the pace for the year, man. I
Yeah.
pumped out so much work so beautifully. And last year, the word of the year for me was potency. And I was really
I
tapping into
remember.
my authenticity, which I feel like aligns with the snake year too. And I
Yeah.
did a lot. And I think it set the stage. So for anyone who really needs to like get a handle of your focus, or if you are being, just losing energy, and like you said, I love how you said it, like feeding it. You're feeding it. That's what it's called, the feed. It's called a
Hmm.
feed, right? We are
Yeah.
feeding these systems. So I'm going to be doing that. It's totally free. People can just come in. And it's like you don't have to do a lot of work. You don't have to do anything, actually. You just open up the email every day and you're guided and you have a focus for
Yeah.
this.
I love
Um,
it.
so yeah, that's coming up for February. Daydream School is open right now. And I did talk about the consultation call. I'll put that link in the show notes here for anyone who's like, I don't see anything. This is a new clean slate. I'm helping a lot of women where they are with that
Yeah.
right now. So that's what I'm doing while I write the book and do the publishing and do this and design
And
team,
be a mom.
be a mom and all that stuff. So, all right, Ineza, this was a hell of a kickoff call. Look at us, 90 minutes, a nice little 90-minute guy. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I'm
It's just
glad
perfect.
we got to kick off the year like this, and we'll pick it back up in February, my friend.
Yeah.
Okay?
Love you. See
Thank
you.
you, listeners. Thank you so much for sticking by us in this amazing jam-packed call. I want to get like a million voice clips from this call because there was so many
Yeah.
good points and good one-liners. So I'll try to get that. All right. Thank you to all our listeners. We'll see you next
Thank
month.
you.